What's going on, you guys? Ghost here, and today we're playing some more Call of Duty World War II beta, and this time I'm going to go over the 5 most important tips that I've learned so far playing this game for the past 2 days now. And the reason why I'm bringing all this video is just because this Call of Duty game definitely is super different, of course, compared it to the last 3 Call of Duty games, and it's something that you have to definitely get used to and change up your playstyle just so you can be successful in the long run. So let's get right into it at the number 5 spot, which is going to be using your secondary to finish off the enemies. So in this game, everyone has a sidearm. You can't take it off. It's not like the Pick 10 system that we're so used to. You have to run a secondary pistol or even a launcher, but for the most part it's going to be a pistol. So say you're in the middle of a gunfight, you're shooting the enemy, but you run out of ammo. What you need to do now is just take out your pistol and finish them off, just because switching to your secondary is faster than reloading your primary. So always have that in mind, guys. Don't forget about your sidearm at all whatsoever. It definitely does come in handy, and in this game it's not used as a primary, just like how it kind of was back in Black Ops 2 and BO3 with the Cat 40 and the B23R. Those are insanely good, right? They could be used as primaries, right? But here in this game, no, they're pretty much sidearms. They're used for what they're meant to be. So finish enemies off with your secondary if you run out of ammo on your primary. So always have that in mind. The next tip that I have for you guys is going to be use the right weapon on the right map. So currently there's only 3 maps in the beta, and those are Gibraltar, Arden Forest, as well with Point to Hawk. The smallest map by far has to be Point to Hawk. So small maps like Point to Hawk, you definitely want to be using SMGs and shotguns, not really snipers or ARs, just because shotguns and SMGs are made for close range, and it's just pretty self-explanatory with that. And that's how it mainly is with every single Call of Duty game, but I feel as though it's kind of more important here in this game, considering it's boots in the ground, and it's all about your gun skill and just the way your movement is with your weapon and your positioning and all that good stuff. So be sure to use the right gun on the right map. For Point to Hawk, it's a close range map, so SMGs and shotguns dominate. For Gibraltar, that's a close to medium range map, so guns like the Type 100, STG are pretty good. And then Arden Forest, this is the largest map that I've noticed so far. You definitely want to be running the M1, just long range weapons, snipers, LMGs, the STGs. So just figure out your weapons on the maps, and then you should be good. The next tip that I have for you guys at the number 3 spot is going to be using diving to your advantage. So there's of course a new mechanic to the game here. It's really not new to Call of Duty. It's been in COD for actually a few games. It's been in Black Ops 1 and BO2. Dolphin Diving, it's here in this game. It's a bit faster than Dolphin Diving, which is definitely very good, and it's actually pretty useful in some scenarios. So with diving, what you want to do with it is actually dive away from grenades, dive away from enemy fire, and even maybe sometimes dive into corners to catch the enemies off guard. I've done that a few times, and I'm pretty sure they're like, what the heck? So definitely dive away from grenades. Lots of nades are thrown. Everyone has grenades and lethals and tacticals, so be sure to just hit the deck once you see a grenade near you. And same of course goes for enemy fire. If an enemy is firing at you, run away, dive around the corner, because that is so useful. It's something that you should definitely take advantage of and think about. Just don't forget about your diving at all. It's not useless as some people may think. So at the number 2 spot, this is one of the most important and crucial things about COD World War II, and that is going to be hearing for enemy and teammate callouts. So every single game, a lot of times you're going to be hearing your teammates call out for the enemies, and of course the enemies call out for your teammates, and you have to be sure you listen up and pay close attention. So you play as either the Allies or the Axis when you play this game, and the Allies are of course the Americans, and the Axis are the Germans, and you'll hear a distinct difference between them both, because basically the Axis side has a heavy German accent here, which you'll hear right now. So that's what some of the Germans sound like, and it's very distinctive, and there's definitely a huge difference between the Germans and the Americans here. So the German shouted out, he's in the bunker, he killed my teammate in the bunker, then I came in the bunker here and I killed both of them, and then here's what the Americans sound like.
They're by the plane wreck! Mailboxes! Go, go, go!
And finally, here's what both sound like in action here. So I'm playing as the Americans, the Allies, and then this guy that just killed me, he's playing as the Axis side, the Germans. So now that you know what I'm talking about, and it's very distinctive to see the difference and obviously hear the difference as well, this is another way to find out where the enemies are. Instead of looking at your mini-map or just having the UAV as well, this is another way to let you spot the enemies very easily from the help of your teammates, and as well from obviously the help of kind of the enemy when they're shouting, because the enemies are super loud when they call out your teammates and vice versa. So guys, be sure if you have a good headset to make sure that you know your surroundings and you hear what the enemies are saying and your teammates are saying, and just so you can spot the enemies very well. It's a very crucial thing, and there's really not much to say here, so be sure to pay attention to the sounds of the voices of both factions. So the next thing, number one, which in my opinion this is the most important thing as well, like these are all important, number two was very crucial, but number one, guys, is going to be walk around and pre-aim corners. This is by far the most important thing that I've learned so far playing COD World War II. It's very hard to rush in this game, so guys, walk around corners. Don't run around corners, because if you get caught sprinting around a corner, you will not have enough time to react, just because the sprint out time in this game is very slow. What that means is, of course, coming out of sprinting to aim down the sight, that is super slow, which means every single time you walk around a corner like I'm doing here, I'm either pre-aiming or just simply walking around a corner and not sprinting. So be sure you don't sprint around a corner, because there could be an enemy pre-aiming you already and just waiting for you. This is the most important thing, guys. It's something that you have to get accustomed to and used to, just because this game plays so differently, and it's honestly well paced, and it's kind of slow at times, but once you get this laid down, it'll be great. You'll be winning all your gunfights for the most part, just because you're walking around the corners and you have your gun up, you're pre-aiming around the corners. This is by far the most important thing in COD World War II. So I hope this video has helped you guys out. Be sure to follow my tips and you'll definitely improve your game. It'll just take time and effort. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Have some good games on the World War II beta. Have some fun. This game's great. I really like it. So see you on the next one. Peace out.